Hey, bro, just let us through, man.
That was a really good Adrian impression.
You got a reason with the man.
Like, guy's already asleep. He's like, I can charm him.
He is like a 7 persuasion.
Ever since he first followed me into the bush, I knew that this guy does not understand stealth. Everything that I do is to make sure that Adrian doesn't ruin the stealth.
And they were able to retrieve their goods, sneak out into the street, and make their escape from the jail, which actually went very well.
What's his name? Inazuma comes back and makes a good distraction. Everything works out. We're out of jail. It's sweet.
And then we decided to get out through the window. I think Inazuma just was like carrying our group because he just shouted to the high heavens for the crowd to turn around. We all kind of crawled through this window. Flint and Aquilo struggled a little bit, but my acrobatics was so good that I managed to pull them right back in just in the nick of time before we saw anyone.
And then they decided to go shopping. They blended in, and they found hats and masks and all sorts of things, scarves.
If we just hurry up and go to where we need to be. I want a hat.
All right, so what sort of hat would you like, sir? Madam.
Well, what kind of hats are there?
They have a wide selection of hats in many different styles, but all of them are variations of fedoras.
Excellent. That's excellent work by you, Cret. Yes, keep it up. That's good.
Picture this, okay? You, viewer at home. Imagine a god selects you as a champion to go on this incredible journey. And instead you go into a tavern to buy drinks for everyone. Instead you buy hats, buy scarves. What are these morons doing?
Then I decided just to have fun with it all. You know, I played some music, tried to chat up a couple of locals.
Okay, can we move along now?
Can we get to this place?
You continue along. You've played your reel for quite some time. People are dancing and clapping and having
I'd like
fun.
to roll perception to see if there's any cute females in the vicinity.
Sure, but they're wearing many belts.
That's the best person there's ever been. Yo, he just 40 chest your ass, bro. You got. But they had too many belts for my liking, man. I'm into a lot of stuff, let me tell you, but I'm not into that many belts.
It's ridiculous. It's a complete waste of my talent.
And so they ended up at the Luminous Vial, which is an alchemy shop.
So we go to this alchemy shop. We finally get there after stopping numerous times for no reason whatsoever.
Where we were supposed to be meeting somebody there, but the problem was it wasn't the right place. My character kind of understood that.
And then we went to Luminous Vial, where we saw Eldrin Lightfeather. He was a grand old guy, man. Just wanted to sell some potions.
Marcus isn't there. We're supposed to meet him there. He's not there. We're not meeting him there. But in the potion shop, there's potions. I'm interested. Me and Tag ask about some of the potions. They're all mad expensive. I still want them.
And interestingly, they decided to steal from this alchemy shop.
Daria and Tagarung start trying to steal from this hardworking, honest intellectual. They've got no respect. It's unbelievable.
I failed at stealing for the first time in forever. It felt really bad and I just wanted to leave. But Daria wasn't done just yet.
You and your friends will leave my shop right now, or I will drink this potion, and it's like this bright red, like viscous thing.
Pretty.
That has like warning, do not drink on it.
And that scared me. I was like, no, I'm not messing with no bottles with an X on it.
I asked him what it is very calmly.
Very dangerous.
I step outside.
I grab it and run.
Roll sleight of hand.
You're really trying to kill us all, man.
It's not looking hot, guys, because I got 12.
Okay, 7 plus 7. Or 5.
Okay. You're not fast enough. He pulls it back, uncorks it, and pours it into his mouth.
I cast hold person.
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
16.
All we had to do was leave.
I think I did.
Your spell save DC is not 16. What's your spell casting?
It might be 14.
Okay.
He passes.
Fuck.
His muscles expand like they've been inflated, and sort of like his skin like reddens, and his veins pop a little bit, and he sort of like starts to grow. And as this is happening, he says, "You should leave."
I leave.
Right
We did.
We leave.
He immediately like drinks this crazy potion and turns into this demon. I don't even know what's happening. I still tried to rob the guy, and he didn't really like that. So
I nearly attacked them myself in order to make sure that all of the potions stayed where they deserve to be. That is an art form, one that deserves to be respected.
And you know, Daria, she's pretty full of herself. She thought she could get away with it, and she called his bluff. Turns out he wasn't bluffing.
But Daria, of course, can't back down from the challenge.
Well, Daria has the idea, why don't I drink some of that? So she drinks some of it too. And then, she starts transforming. And now these two big guys are fighting.
He turned into this blue monster. And then Daria drank it. And she turned into the blue monster. And then there's a blue monster against another blue monster. Just blue things flying all over the place.
he's a lot bigger than me. He's turning into this giant. His hands are turning into claws. And I say, me too. So I grab the rest of the potion, I chug it, and now I'm ready to fight.
And things got incredibly awkward after that. Daria definitely needed some assistance, but it was just too high of a risk for the rest of the squad. And I also thought that if I stuck around, I probably would just end up dying, because whatever that dude was drinking could not have been good.
Tagarong, with some degree of intelligence, decides to let it go, understanding that she is beyond her element.
The rest of us get out of there. We're basically at a shop across the street watching. I think we ordered some tea maybe at some point, to have something to drink, because we knew we were still close enough where if Daria ever really needed our help, we could help out, but we'd let her handle it on her own. He hasn't said anything about death yet.
Yeah.
The
get ready
cone
to
of
get
cold
the
blasts out the front of the shop. Everyone who is walking in front of it is immediately killed and frozen.
Holy!
People start screaming and running.
I just take a big drink of my drink at the tavern, and you've never seen me smile.
Is
so
there
hard.
any way that we can just make sure that we're kind of blended into this tavern so that if
Everyone
police
is running.
Oh, well, then we gotta run with them, or
Let me tell you, for as annoying as it is to have to worry about all these idiots in the party, for having to stop for shopping and everything like that, for the opportunity to watch this genius attack Daria and just decimate her. It was the best. Truly the highlight so far of my adventure.
Everybody else is outside. I mean, I think Inazuma is actually kind of making fun of me. But everybody's outside. It's just me, this potion keeper, and of course Randy. And so we're kind of going blow for blow. I turn into this creature as well. Everything changes. New spells, new hit points, new power. I'm like still fighting, but I realize that this is just not a fight that's gonna go in any direction. So I cast darkness, I fill my bag with potions, and I don't really know what happens next.
So some very interesting stuff happened, leaving Daria swathed in magical darkness. Nobody knowing what happened inside there, them just continuing on. They have to continue their journey. And I'm very interested to see what happens with Daria.
suddenly like this dark cloud poured out from the shop, and a big blast of air came through of like ice, and we ended up having to run away with everyone else. So we really don't know what happened to Daria.
I wish we could have stayed forever. Daria, of course, needed to cast some darkness spell in order to save herself. I should have just gone in there and helped the shopkeeper.
They headed to the Illuminated Child. They met up with Marcus,
we finally went to go meet up with Marcus Alburn at the Luminescent Child, whatever ridiculous shop name it was. He got the name wrong initially, and so he sent us on a merry goose chase, and we ended up finally catching up with him at an actual tavern.
I think it speaks volumes that Marcus doesn't even notice that Daria's gone. I noticed because I was much happier.
And that's where we met up with Marcus at Illuminescent Child, man. He gave us the wrong intel. He told us to go to Luminous Vial. He's at the Luminescent Child. I didn't know what to do. And then he started seeing ghosts and stuff on the stage. And I'm like, Marcus, there's nobody there performing. You're wilding out there, buddy. But then he gave me a little bit of his rosé, and I started seeing the little sprites and demons as well. And man, were they dancing a tune.
He was speaking in code, but and you know, you would expect your bard to be used to sort of coded speech and secret messages and intrigue, but he completely missed it. And Inazuma sort of took his place as the face for this conversation.
And Marcus lets everyone know that they need to be worried about their own sort of portion of the preparation of finding this Aegis amulet and attacking Zeus. Whereas myself, finally someone recognizes where the real talent in the group is. Marcus isn't so bad.
And the wedding, the worst part about it all is now we have to throw a party, but I have to sign up and throw a party alongside of Adrian. And all that dude does is party, and I hate drinking and I hate parties.
And then he started talking about this wedding, and I had no idea what he was talking about, but you know what? He promised me that I'm gonna be the best man, and that's all that matters. Because I'm gonna throw the best party ever. I'm looking forward to the wedding and all the roses.
Plus, it's another brief reprieve from the constant onslaught of idiocy that I receive when with the group. Can't wait.
They discussed how they were going to continue their mission in coded speech, the wedding. So Inazuma is going to be helping Marcus with the arrival, as they call it, while the rest of the party are going to throw a party, as he said. We'll find out a little bit more about what that means, but I think it'll be a fun time for everyone involved. So today's session was a little bit different. Well, for one, Inazuma and Daria weren't here. Daria drank a weird potion and got in a fight with an Oni and turned into an Oni.
Neither was Inazuma. Marcus took her off somewhere to do some kind of spell on that he needed or something like that, so we didn't have Inazuma with us either.
Marcus had some work for him to do.
It's weird. Two of our more annoying people, also two of our most helpful people. So I was a little bit worried about our chances without them. Turns out I didn't need to be worried at all.
They stopped by the Luminous Vial.
I decided, hey, Daria's not here. Someone's got to get this party off the rails. What if we go back to the alchemy lab and try and see what's going on there?
And you know, the night was still young, so your boy was trying to party.
Kilo and I wanted to maybe see if we could pick up some extra potions for our adventures.
Maybe we shouldn't press our luck.
I'm down.
No, I've made an error.
And by down, I mean I'm down to get out of here.
Oh, thank
because
goodness.
that sounds like it might be the shopkeeper.
Yeah, there certainly could be something like that happening.
There was a shadowy figure on the roof, and I ain't messing with no shadowy figure on the roof anytime soon.
That freaks me out. I am a coward at heart, so I ran.
And they decided not to investigate any further, which is, realistically, that's the safe call. The rest of the party had some time, and they decided to actually spend a night on the town, which I thought was very interesting. They even convinced Flint to come.
I want to go to the... We
Brad,
need to go to the...
Brad, there's always time.
We ended up going to the bar after that, or wherever it is, of going to the tavern.
And then, just like Aquila promised, we went out to party.
What is party?
Oh, you
Right.
have so much to
Are there going to be a
learn.
lot of people there? A lot of
Yes.
stuff there?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tagaron,
And in
maybe don't rob
fact,
them blind.
How simple it is to party, which seems to be go there, drink, and stand around, and then go home.
And Tagaron went around robbing people, making some money. She spread the wealth around too. I made 9 gold. It was a good night.
up on stage.
Alrighty.
He's still playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wait for like a moment where I can like join in. I recognize the melody
Yeah.
that he's playing in.
Roll performance.
9.
You join in and like it's probably like some sort of like reel or something like that where like people are meant to be able to join in, and as you go to join in, he cuts to like a solo and just sort of like smothers you out.
Okay.
He's flexing on you, totally.
In the end, Adrian took the lead.
And that's when Adrian realizes that he can put on a bit of a show. He gets right up onto the stage, right in the middle of the performance, and starts singing and playing his violin, and really just kind of bringing down the house.
What are you have the lead? What are you gonna do?
I actually start singing now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I let him keep playing.
Singing, dancing, and
Yeah.
violining.
Yeah.
Roll
I know your triple
performance
threat.
there
Okay.
with advantage.
19.
All right, he has become your backing track.
Nice.
Use your backup.
You think you have a good performer? You haven't seen me perform.
You know, after the performance, they chatted a little bit. Turned out both Adolfo and Adrian are champions of Apollo.
And I showed him up. I showed him up real good, and we were starting to become buddy and friends until I found out that he was not a supporter of Hades.
You know, learned something new there, right? There's 2 champions. Interesting. They ended up going shopping for the party in the morning.
Marcus kind of jangling a little golden pouch in front of us, saying, "We're going shopping." I look at the rest of the squad. They're all into it. I'm like, you know what? I got some good clothes already, but I'm not going to stop to get some more. So I joined in on the fun.
Tagrung was wearing a dress, which still don't know what that looks like.
I, of course, had to look the best out of everybody, and I made sure to get a red dress that really caught my eye from the shopkeeper.
Aquilo was looking quite nice. Adrian probably the most stylish.
Really easy for me, really easy for Adrian. I think that Flint got like a cloak. Not a bad idea. As much as that guy we can cover up, the better. And somehow they found little formal clothes for Tagrun to wear that were able to conform to otter shape.
I know who the real snazziest person was.
Flint managed to get himself a nice new cloak, which looked a little bit more formal.
It's a nice cloak, I guess.
It didn't really help him blend in as much as, like Craig described, it didn't really blend in as much, but it did seem a little bit more appropriate for where we are.
They go to the party, and with Marcus, they get in right away.
We went to some magistrate dude, Hypothesis' house, whatever his name is.
We discovered that it was a party full of basically worshipers of Zeus. And Zeus is exactly who we're trying to, steal the Aegis amulet from.
Once we were all in our formal gear, we headed right over to the party, and immediately we ran to some of the key players. The magistrate was there, Almathea, his wife, was there as well.
Adrastus, the magistrate, he's a bit of an idiot. Definitely self-absorbed, and in some ways represents like what the upper class is like in this city.
I came to find that there was this one particular guest that just kept rubbing me the wrong way. This guy named Andrastus, and he just seemed like a massive idiot, but a rich massive idiot.
And she, the magistrate's wife, told me that Almathea was this idiot, she didn't like talking to him. I went up all cool trying to play it like I knew the magistrate. Turns out that did not earn me any clout with her. She hates the bumbling idiot.
They met Phobos, who was the captain of the guard. Luckily, that turned out to be okay. No one clued her in on anything, and they managed to play it cool.
That was scary, having a member of Zeus's guard that close to us when we killed some of her other fellow guards earlier on.
He is the leader of the Olympian guard.
As rightfully so.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. It's a good thing we got someone that strong looking out for us.
It absolutely is. Very comfortable.
This is
Much stronger than the puny Norse guy.
Yep.
Especially Ymir.
Uh-huh. Oh, man.
Yeah. What a...
Yep. Yes. I might need to use the restroom. though.
Oh, yes. Well, it's just across the hall.
Right. Right. Yes. I walk away and I do my best. Oh. And I almost lost it for a minute there. I managed to keep my cool and get out of there, but I was really close to throwing a punch.
Lycus was probably the most interesting one there. He's clearly old and powerful, and he knows a lot. Has some sort of connection to Marcus, and you know, I wonder what sort of a player he is in this city, right? And you know, if he's going to be involved with anything to come with the actual siege and you know, potential assassination of Zeus.
I don't believe him to be a friend of Zeus, but it can be hard to, you know, judge.
These are all crazy players, and we all kind of had our own adventures with them.
So there was a performance at the party. Adrian and Daria, who is actually Flint, sort of putting on a performance within a performance.
He was doing his very best Daria impressions of what he'd seen her do to try and blend in and be one of them.
I can't tell if it's Flint just like being lonely that Daria isn't with us anymore, or if Flint actually thinks he's Daria now, but...
I'm Daria.
Hello, Daria. I would actually expect that to be a woman's name, but it suits you well.
But at the end of the day, I told her, I'm like, all right, it's my turn to ride solo.
He's heard this song before.
I tell Flint, solo.
But Daria.
Solo.
But Daria. My turn.
I roll persuasion.
But Daria.
I roll persuasion to get him off the stage.
Legit, I am thinking I am Daria now, and I know Daria would
Daria would
never let somebody do solo.
Can I look to persuade Flint to like keep going? I'm just like, yeah, let's go Daria.
Yes, pumping
19.
you.
I mean, for a second there, looks aside, I would have believed it to be Daria.
And I couldn't let Flint do Flint performance by himself.
And that could have gone really badly. But luckily, when it came down to it, the roles were just good enough for it to not be terrible. And Adrian managed to end the performance on the high note. So, you know, that was good.
Everyone seemed to clap and enjoy it, so he thinks he did very well for himself.
I won't lie, you know, the violin solo was pretty cool at the end, and I'm glad that he let Flint tag along for the ride.
And the crowd was loving it. And that's all that matters. I performed.
Around the same time, Tagarung realized that she kind of just wanted to murder the magistrate Adrastus, and Lycus, he was okay with it. I mean, Adrastus just kind of sucks.
The hypothesis dude told us to go back to the balcony. And I'm like, oh, that's a little weird, but all right. Let's go roll deep and go enjoy the nightlife, because I'm all about the nature. It doesn't matter if it's bright in the morning or dark in the nighttime. I'm out there enjoying one with nature.
Then everything started happening all at once. There was this big movement with the guard. They were all going to move out Zeus's army to start challenging Hades.
And it turns out that Inazuma and Marcus have been working on a spell. There's a crack of thunder that sounds like a drum. A lightning bolt hits the citadel, and the barrier goes out.
Causing some problems for Zeus and the lightning barrier.
I was almost in disbelief that he was actually that powerful. I mean, why couldn't the dude have been half as useful throughout all these fights we've had so far?
So while the citadel is manned, it is exposed. It doesn't have this protective barrier anymore.
Through all the chaos that's ensuing right now, I take that chance to just stab a little bit Andrastus with the poison lace.
Roll an attack with advantage.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Just a little bit of poison.
I'm doing it stealthily, so I don't want people to notice that I'm doing it. Like, just quickly.
Just kind of sort of
quick
poison
shank out
daggers
the
down.
dress.
Wouldn't you just want to like
It's
slice
just,
him?
no, it's
Not
just a
like-
quick shank out the dress.
Well, then why even poison the
dagger?
dagger then?
Because
Well, the poison's on the tip. It'll get in there.
that way they kill him.
Cheeky shank, you know? That's amazing.
Yep.
Cheeky
The
shank.
cheeky one. All you need to do is scratch
And
it.
you
you
said
have
with
advantage.
advantage.
Yep. He gasps and like begins to die, and like breath leaves him. He looks back and sees you with one eye, and then slumps just a little bit, like on the edge of the railing.
What did he do to you? I don't understand.
I just walk away.
All right.
You don't want to check his pockets first?
Roll stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's done anything to anyone at any point ever, but she murdered him in cold blood with a poison dagger and got away with it. Everything was chaos. We immediately had to start running.
When are you gonna stop killing people for real? It's getting kind of scary.
You know, as full of himself as Inazuma is, kind of the first really helpful thing he's done, and he kind of did it off screen. So, I don't know. Inazuma will be back next week, and I want to see if he can really prove himself. Who's to say what will happen? All right, so last week, man, it was crazy. Well, our party started off with a brief meeting with all of their gods, and they were tasked with going into enemy territory, destroying this relic that keeps the gods safe.
I'm doing very important things, studying on the brink of an incredible breakthrough in magic, and I'm whisked away and dumped into this room.
These champions, as they were just sort of, you know, living their normal life, Flint was sitting around trying to light a fire.
With my head.
Yeah, with his head.
I'm made of rocks.
Inazuma studying.
I make fire. And poof. I move.
And then I'm just put with these buffoons.
So like, I was just kind of outside, and then like a bright light just consumed me, and then we were in the darkness.
And then other people there. Lightning Man.
Then told that I have to go with them to complete a very important task.
I mean, Inazuma, difficult to work with, Daria, impossible to work with.
You ever have that only child friend down the block that gets all the gifts, everything cool belongs to them? Yeah, that's who Zuma is.
I mean, Adrian always off doing his own thing.
Knowing me though, I'm just going with the flow, man. I'm just trying to follow the birds. That's all I'm about, man. It's following the flow and the nature of things.
I don't really understand the majority of the group that I am with.
Honestly, I spent half the time in that room just trying to figure out how they could put me with them.
It's just a matter of who's going to hit him in the face first.
And they quickly, after meeting each other, departed off to a forest.
But then we get transported to this forest. These other people spend time talking to a rabbit.
You can now speak to animals. So, what do you say to the rabbit?
Ask it if it's seen what's up ahead in the trees.
Oh, that's a good idea. You're not here though. I'm gonna think.
How did you know I was trying to speak with animals anyway? Just like I was chasing one and now he's speaking to it. Right?
How do you spend all this time catching this rabbit and don't come up with the question?
Oh no! I catch up with the rabbit and I go, hey.
I am surrounded by idiots. This is just...
I find myself slowly turning into this guy. I'm disappointed in our team already. We have accomplished
I
nothing.
imagine the rabbit.
What a beautiful rabbit.
We ended up working with a rabbit or talking to a rabbit or something like that, and he told us what we already knew, which is that we were there and people were running away. I mean, very little was gained from that.
Everybody got on my case for talking to this rabbit. Listen, two things here. One, I just wanted to flex. Flint tried to talk to him, completely failed.
Daria has picked up the rabbit and is holding it and speaking to it. If you would like to hear what the rabbit is saying, you can also cast Speak to Animals.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay, I'll try and cast Speak to Animals.
Okay.
Here we go, round 2.
We don't need both of you talking to
Oh,
a
I have
rabbit.
to roll even better. I just wasted a 19. What?
You did just waste 19.
Okay, I'll just cast it.
So yeah, you can also hear the
I had to
rabbit.
roll. 1, we spoke to the rabbits and we realized, well, maybe not me individually, but the group spoke to a rabbit and realized that they didn't know nothing.
I loved when they were trying to talk to the rabbit, man. That's what I'm all about. I'm trying to communicate with them as well. That's why I wanted to follow the birds, man. They were trying to go up the hill.
I'm trying to get out of there as soon as I can. Are you done having this heart-to-heart yet with this rabbit? Can we go?
Are there any other big
Let him finish.
creatures or
It's
big,
a
like,
rabbit.
people like me?
What could it possibly know?
Going in guns blazing makes sense if you have all the variables. Walking into a foreign forest with no information is absolutely ridiculous. Who do you ask? The people that live there. And who lives there? Well, there's no people. It's a rabbit. That's who I'm going to talk to. We had all the information for that. We understood. Tag was going to go in.
They passed through this forest and up to a ridgeline, but along the way they were stopped by a talking wolf.
The wolf speaks.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm glad I didn't cast a spell on it.
You should not be here.
Oh, goodness gracious. Like normally, I didn't use.
It speaks human.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Now Tagarung, our otter rogue assassin, jumped the gun a little bit and jumped into combat. What seemed to be very early.
Why is this wolf so badass?
I then approach from the shadows and
behind
look to assassinate.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Awesome. I'm gonna need everyone to roll initiative.
When we first came to that clearing and I saw the situation that was unfolding with the wolves, I knew right away that there's no way this was ever going to end up well for the squad, so I just did what I knew had to be done.
Then the wolf fight. Tagaram just leaps in when I'm trying to talk to a big wolf, and then I'm the one that takes all the damage as a result of it. I nearly died.
We come across this wolf, and at least the otter is able to do something. Jumped the gun a little bit, but if we're honest, I was about to do the same.
Wolves. They not talk much. Tag stab. Not nice.
To hear the squad get so mad at me for doing the right thing, I just can't understand any of them at all, and I'm starting to wonder if they're going to be the ones slowing me down.
Did you kill it, or did you just?
You haven't killed it.
I haven't killed it.
You like stabbed it good, but it's not dead.
I stabbed you.
I did 1 whole damage. I feel pretty good about that. Adrian also put in some good damage too, so thank goodness we had them there with us.
And then we were fighting these wolves, and at first I was like, nah, man, I don't want to fight these wolves. They're part of nature, but they started to attack us. So I was like, nah, we gonna kill them.
We ended up barely making it out thanks to Tagaram's admittedly strong damage. Inazuma was also a big help.
We've got a couple of people in this group that have definitely know their way around the battlefield. Shout out to the wizard, shout out to the rogue. I don't know if the bard has ever gotten his hands dirty ever.
So in our encounter with the wolves, I thought they were gonna be good, but they needed to be punished, and that's why I used my dissonant whispers, screaming at them that they need to be good.
What kind of stuff do you whisper to it, Totally?
Hey, you're bad, and you need to be good.
That would really mess me up psychically.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a
I don't think
wisdom
there's any
saving
recovery.
throw.
I'm thinking
that.
like 3d6 worth of messed up is what
It is.
And big old paladin over here, Flint, he is very strong, but understanding the X's and O's of battle are a little bit different.
11.
Yeah.
Not quite good enough. You do not hit the wolf.
Cool.
All right.
Want to anyway. But,
I know you
got-
didn't.
Kind of got talked into it when I'm like watching all this. Never met these people before. An otter jumps in the back of a pack of wolves and starts stabbing it. This dude's shouting at me. He's all about freaking birds over here. This one looks like he's out of some sort of Arctic cartoon. And I don't know what the hell this thing is over here.
Clearly,
What was
Flint
your
is not
name?
from Manchester, because it would have glassed this wolf at
6.
the first opportunity.
Top, you had a great hit. I
Flint,
have
it
yet to
crits
follow.
you.
It crits me. What a shock.
Well, they're weaker against.
He's probably
right?
dead.
It's-
We're dead on
Is that a
turn
good side
one.
joke? That was
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
Not bad.
If I die off this now, so you guys are making me swing at it.
11
I'm so
damage.
gonna win. Okay. We win. I get bit, but okay. I heal.
We finally get through the wolf with me doing the bulk of the heavy lifting. Don't let Daria tell you anything about what she did. A couple lucky shots here and there to finish off the damage that I did.
I wound up with 2 last hits, so I know.
How do you kill this wolf? Give me my dice.
Extremely, so I walk up, I assess the situation, I see you on the ground, I see you on the back, everyone's going nuts, and I show up and I go, just shoot it between the eyes.
They cleaned up that fight.
The wolves are dead. Congratulations on surviving your first combat encounter, despite how hard you tried not to.
I say you're welcome.
Shout out to Taco with the best rolls. That's because she's using my spare dice.
They got a wolf's head helm, which allows him to hear and smell much better when he uses it. It's enchanted with the spirit of the winter wolf, which is cool.
I actually was able to acquire a nice wolf head from it that increases my perception. I'm already pretty good at it, so now whenever I go for it, I feel like I'm able to commune with the head, and using the power that's imbued in it, I'm able to smell or hear even better than I was before.
They headed up to a ridgeline and then bickered for a while before heading into a grove.
So we don't have any other option, but we should be, smart about the way that we choose to approach this. Try and
You mean
be...
we shouldn't jump into the middle of everything and try to assassinate the biggest person?
Look, that wolf was talking shit, and I just took care of it.
I'm with it.
Well, it nearly killed me as a result. Maybe we could have resolved
It was going to kill you whether she jumped on it or not.
How do we know that?
We walk towards mountain. I see mountain, we walk to mountain, or near mountain.
We spent a long time making it to a ridge, walking along the ridge, standing in a forest, lots of arguing. We couldn't decide on if we wanted to go along the ridge or not. We got to get better at deciding what we want to do as a team, or we're going to spend a lot of time standing around talking.
I have a point in the battle and go, they said to stop the battle, shouldn't we go and stop this?
Shut up.
People talk. I don't understand. I'm very simple.
There they met a strange man named Marcus Albarn, who is a infiltrator and a purveyor of fine goods.
What are you doing?
Okay, so first I'm like complimenting him first on his figure, his smell. I can see that he comes from a wealthy background.
Yeah.
Say that he's a very majestic person.
Yeah.
This Marcus guy, man, is he sharp dressed, smells fantastic. He's my kind of guy, honestly, at the end of the day.
Is this how you talk to ladies these days, by the way? I'm distracted. Like,
well, this is a man.
No, you don't want to tell a girl how she smells.
You don't?
When you first meet her.
Well, especially if it smells like you. Like, it makes sense, right?
Can you, pleased to meet you, Adrian Anderson. My name is Marcus Albarn. I am an infiltrator and a purveyor of fine goods.
Marcus is an interesting character. Originally, I just wanted to take all of his stuff because he had a lot of it and he was very open about displaying it.
But then we come across this Marcus. I don't know what to think about him.
This guy Marcus showed up. It's hard to trust him, but we at least got to hear him out, I think, and then decide on where we want to go from there. Yeah, there was a point when I tried to, kind of determine what Marcus's true intentions were. I don't think it went particularly well. I came out knowing less than when I started.
So like Fitch's character, Aquila, he said he smelled something was approaching, and then they were trying to communicate with this being, and I was like, you know what, let me roll in there with my persuasion and see what I can get going.
I tried to read his thoughts, but credit where it's due. He's not as stupid as the rest of the people I'm traveling with, so maybe it'd be good to have someone of actual intelligence on the team.
So I complimented the fine gentleman on a great smell, a great figure, you know what I mean? You could say that's hitting on him, but I just respect a true presence. And hey, he gave me these rings.
He gave them another magic item that allows them to communicate with him.
Yo, Marcus, I'll see you soon, buddy.
And then he convinced them all to have dinner with him around the campfire, and then take a nice break before they continue on to the stronghold. So we'll see what happens, how they get into the stronghold. I mean, that's going to be an interesting task. It is Mount Olympus, and they are trying to defeat Zeus. So we'll see how that goes. This week on SMITE D&D, we had some interesting developments. Not too much interaction with Marcus. I think the party sort of accepted him.
So like, we wake up, right? And I knew Marcus was a good guy. He wasn't going to do anything to us, but I think the rest of our group wasn't really trusting him.
So last session we all go to sleep. All 6 of us are here. This time we wake up and Inazuma is not around.
So when we woke up, Inazuma was gone and everyone was worried, but I'm not worried. He's one with nature now.
Listen, part of me is kind of upset because, I feel motherly. This is my squad. Another part of me is not upset because I think he can handle himself, obviously. And another part of me, if something bad were to happen to him, I wouldn't cry.
He didn't kill them in their sleep, so they're like, all right, that was our primary concern. Hasn't happened.
But me and the messenger rings that he got us, I knew he was a trustworthy person, so I wasn't worried at all of holding hands with everybody. Marcus is a good dude.
He's like, hey, let's all hold hands and I'll cast a spell. They have no idea what it is. Nobody, tried to figure that out.
Please, everyone hold hands.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Okay, so
We
we
hold
all
hands all the
hold
time,
hands.
Oh, you got such cold hands, Tony. Ooh.
Hindu, you're very warm.
I've never held hands with people before.
That's one finger.
You
Tom.
can just
What are
say
you
your
doing?
hands are
You
very
guys can
warm.
reach. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I don't know if we
I
can
don't know if
actually
that's gonna
reach.
happen.
Yeah, it's not
Anyway,
gonna reach. There's
so
no
we
way.
all,
It's not reaching.
everyone holds hands, and Marcus says, he says that it's time.
It transported them a great distance, and they were totally okay with it, and then he disappeared.
Handle
You want
your call.
No,
So you raise your thumb to your ear. You speak into your pinky.
Yo, Marcus, where'd you go, bro?
You've reached Marcus Albert.
I forgot about this.
Marcus!
Please leave a message after the beep.
I don't know what any
Beep.
of this means, but bro, you left us at a watchtower, man. I don't know where to go. Call me back.
And he's not picking up his phone. So, you know, interesting stuff there.
So like, I tried to reach out to Marcus a couple of times throughout that episode, but he never picked up, man. I thought we had something, man. He's just leaving me on red.
They arrived at the top of this watchtower. You know, there were people coming up. It was a changing of the guard. The guard were coming up and ready.
So we wind up at this watchtower, and with Inazuma gone, everybody's looking towards me to be the leader because I'm Daria, the creation of everything excellent.
Hiding behind the barrel. I did not think it was a good strategy. It was so obvious that Daria was obviously going to be spotted out.
And then all of a sudden, the guards just saw Daria. She was not very well hidden at all. They just were like, hey, a person. And as soon as we knew they were nearby, my team leapt into action.
And, you know, maybe they could have scaled the walls or, you know, tried to get out some other way, tried to sneak past them. But our intrepid adventurers decided to just murder the hell out of these poor guards.
He ends up jumping down to slay as much as he can and goes a little bit crazy.
Okay,
My character will panic in this instance. I'm gonna play that by my character. I'm jumping.
Okay. All right. Roll initiative.
I know you guys are there. My character's like, oh shit, they know! I just jump, and I'm like way early on this engagement, but I'm like jumping and they get some other button.
Okay.
I see what I'm going.
Flint just like jumped on these guys without asking any questions, and that threw me off because I'm looking at him stomping some heads. That threw me off for a loop.
I thought I was bloodthirsty, but after seeing the rest of my group, I'm starting to wonder if I might be rubbing off on them a little bit too much.
I craft this perfect plan. I'm not as stealthy as I thought I was, but I've got a silver tongue. I'm going to talk our way out. And then Flint just busts through the ceiling and Rikishi bombs everybody.
So we had to go into combat. I think Daria might have been able to talk her way out of it, but Flint came dropping down through the trapdoor like one of those thwomps from Mario or something and crushed one and just started combat right away. So who knows how that really would have went, but we never had time to discuss options, went right into fighting.
When we run into trouble, violence is really cool. As a last option, what separates us from the animals? That's the ability to speak to each other, to discuss, to interrogate. I think it's almost always smart to at least get some sort of information first. So
What do you want to know?
All right. First off, where are we?
Olympus.
Okay. Second off,
What?
anybody got a question for this guy?
Where is the Aegis hidden?
What?
Where is the Aegis amulet hidden?
I don't know.
Do you know anything about Zeus or Hades?
They're brothers?
Where do you know where they're at?
Zeus is here and Hades is attacking the city?
What do you know about the war?
I was fighting in it until you killed my friends and damn near killed me.
Can you kill him?
Who do you work for?
Zeus. Who do you work for?
Okay.
Let me guess. Hades.
My character's gonna say, this isn't really getting us anywhere, guys, and then stomp his head with my foot.
What? What was all
That's
this?
what I'm gonna go for.
Make an attack roll.
Cool.
Tagaron, kind of the opposite. Flint, kind of the opposite. But you know what? Even when we try to interrogate these people, I just can't. I can't do it. What can I say? We're better at punching than listening.
He was bad. Zeus bad. His people bad. Hades good. Geb good. Stomp head.
I'm like, Flint, too rough, bro, too rough. You gotta be more gentle.
But thankfully, Flint came in clutch.
So when like Flint destroyed all three of those guards, literally decapitating one of them, literally smashing one's heads in,
decapitates one with his hammer swing, which Flint is very pleased with, very not Paladin-esque.
And the most interesting thing to me was Flint, who's a paladin. And he's just murdering people.
I was really impressed this episode with Hindu crushing his character. It was funny. He did things that were against the group, and he did things that I don't think Hindu man Graham wants to do.
He's technically a paladin, but him himself isn't really sure that he is a paladin. He doesn't really realize it for the most part. He just knows that he cares about Geb and nature and earth, and he represents Geb.
I was confused because I thought this dude was a paladin. Paladins don't do that, right?
And I think Flint still thinks that he's doing good. But there's definitely a perspective from where straight up murdering people who are minding their own business, just trying to defend their city, you know, it's pretty gruesome.
So he's got to look at it from the sense of, on a base level, because he's not the wisest, he's like, well, these people must be bad if we're going to have to kill them to do good. It's a bit of a twist, obviously, for a paladin who just doesn't realize it, especially that he is maybe committing evil, especially decapitating poor, innocent, you know, watchtower guards is the best way of putting it.
Sweet, let's just clean up. You know, we shove the bodies into the barrel, we clean up the areas, we wear the unis.
So it's just Hitman.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Straight up. All right. And,
So what's happening with Taco's character?
I am hiding under Hindu's cloak.
Okay.
I force its legs out of this cloak.
Will they be able to tell? Yeah, what if I grappled onto the two-handed hammer?
You could try and do that.
And
yeah.
just,
It looks like I've got a hunchback.
Oh my god, this is, you ever see like 3 kids under a trench coat?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That's what's happening.
No, it looks like I've got a hunchback.
They get out into the city, try the prisoner con, which, as it always does, goes awry in some way. You know, who could have seen that coming?
So we wind up in town. We are battle weary after killing this dude, and we're dressed up like guards. I figure we go and we re-equip ourselves.
And then we just like asked a person if they knew where the black market was. That was our strategy. Hey, we need weapons. Who can illegally sell us some weapons?
For some reason, we're trying to buy items while pretending to escort a prisoner.
We're not going to the mall. Everybody was like surprised. Oh, we're gonna go shopping. I'm not chilling, smoking a cigarette and going to Forever 21. I'm like, yo, we need weapons and potions and supplies. This was a smart thing. I don't know why I'm getting jocked for that.
And these people who thought they were gonna break this prisoner free, the party ends up, you know, killing them too.
We followed the wrong vendor and got into a huge fight.
Unsurprisingly, into what we perceived as an ambush, might not have been, but certainly there were a lot of guys there with weapons. He told us in the end that he wanted to try and free Flint, who was posing as a prisoner, but we never even got that far. My man Adrian went in. He saw an opportunity to shatter, and he shattered.
I'm engaging right away.
Why do we always fire first? Why don't we talk to people?
Why are we going shopping? Well, we've got a prisoner thing going on. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not!
Because right now they're not close to me, so I want to use my one spell, which is not going to hurt anyone else. Once I saw those bad guys, I did what Flint would do, and I shattered.
Makes sense.
My crowd control was paramount to us winning the fight, by the way. I just need to really point that one out.
Okay.
So so he tries to run. I cast Hold Person. I go, stop, wiener! And I'm like, where do you think you're going?
Finally, though, I got to do some actual damage. More than 1 damage this fight.
I cast Moonbeam on them.
Okay.
It's a 5-foot radius. So I think, can I hit more than one? Can I put
Yeah,
it on
you can
them?
actually hit all of them. They haven't spread out.
Yeah, I'm going to place it right on top
How's
of
this
them.
look?
I only did 1 last time. I got to drop my Moonbeam, my most powerful spell.
But no, I mean, we won. So what's the big deal? We won, baby.
Good news, though, we did end up on top of the second battle. The bad news is that they were on our team.
Just tell us.
We just wanted to free this prisoner. All right. And save him from the guards, who are not nice people.
Daria.
Empty your pockets.
Your plan failed, Daria.
He's got like 3 gold.
So I guess that's not something that you really want to go through all the time.
They're then sort of inducted into this underground resistance movement and sort of introduced to them we'll see what happens with that. But I think we're finding out that, you know, in the streets of Olympus, it's not really black and white. It's not just good and evil. There's a lot of shades of gray here. I'm really fascinated to see what our party does next, and I'm excited to see how they interact with, you know, this new element they've discovered in the city, what they do with that, whether it helps them with their goals or, you know, how that goes. And I'm also excited to see the role that our special guest plays in the next episode. So today, we went into the undercity of the Olympian stronghold, and we learned a little bit about what it's like down there. We had a guest join us, Romero.
So after we got through essentially beating up a bunch of dudes in an alley, the old lady who we thought was like running the resistance or something like that turned out to be some dude named Romero who worshipped the Morrigan and could shapeshift.
Yes, come.
Oh,
if
no.
Zeus you wish to defeat, with me you must come.
Kill me.
Yeah, you know, I'm definitely on board. My name is Aquilo. Who
Well, I am actually.
I'm no longer old lady.
Romero.
Romero. So at the start of the episode, we met this cool-looking chick that turned out to be a weird-looking dude named Romero.
He's obviously the Morrigan-esque. He's able to shapeshift and turn into different things.
It turned out that was me. I was Romero. I was asked in to play kind of their guide through this undersection of the city.
They took to him pretty quickly. They're pretty friendly.
I wasn't sure what he was all about, but you know me, man. I just go with the flow and I go with nature.
He kind of quickly changed his form back to his normal face, and we trusted him almost immediately, followed him down to the sewers.
Out of character, I realized this was a little bit fishy and we didn't really talk to him enough to find out what his motives were or why he just appeared as a woman, turned into a dude, then turned into another dude, and we were just okay following him.
I think Daria might have been slightly suspicious, but it was sort of this point where we could either stand around all day asking questions, or we could try and, you know, make our way towards Zeus, and that's what we did.
Daria had a few questions initially, but she came around.
I don't trust him, but the rest of the group seems to, and honestly, I'm over this. I just want to finish the job, so I don't trust him. He's gonna have to earn his keep, but we'll see what happens.
It ends up meaning that Romero probably wasn't the one we should trust.
I think they just sort of learned that how bad this place can be, right? And how, like, you know, the lower areas are not really well taken care of.
After we made our way out of that little tunnel, we got up to a settlement that was hung up by some rope.
Once we finally made it to the settlement, the first real obstacle of the adventure was this bridge. So we wisely agreed to have people go across one at a time because it was kind of rickety, and then let the stone man Flint go last.
I just turned into a rat since I am a druid, and was able to very easily make it across. Even the ranger that was with us was able to nimbly step across.
I turned to a little tiny rat and I just stumbled across with my
You absolutely do.
Yeah! I'm on the other side and I see like a little rat. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I think you can just sort of zip right across. You arrive next to Adrian. Roll acrobatics for me.
12.
You're breathing a little heavily.
Okay.
So you didn't manage to play it like super cool where you just do this. You're like, ha, no problem. You're like.
My opinion of him goes down just a tiny bit.
Yeah, just
a little.
I do the same.
Wait. One go one.
Okay.
One
He's
go
not that
one.
heavy.
One go one.
Okay, Flint. Okay, Flint. I turn to Randy and I go, Randy, scurry across.
He scurries.
Sweet. Now, my turn, and I do exactly
I
what
pick up Randy and I
Romero
put him
did.
on my other shoulder. So I have 2 rats on my shoulders.
Oh man,
Randy's
I
not
feel
thrilled.
less special now.
Randy's chilling.
Yeah, no, I do exactly what Romero does.
Roll acrobatics.
20. Oh, God, he did that.
You nailed it.
My opinion of Daria slightly goes up.
And everyone kind of looked towards Flint like, you're made of stone, my dude. I don't know if you're gonna be able to make it across this one.
The wood that you would stand on is it's discolored and sort of like a dark brown.
What are you pointing at?
Watch out, Flint.
Oh, right.
You're heavy as everything.
I'm just made of rock. Right?
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna walk over this wood.
Hey,
you should probably go
Dario, I
last.
mean, like, come on. Hey,
Have some. I just want to make sure he's safe.
No, I'm. This is an aside. I'm not like calling him out. I'm like, have some tact.
No, I mean it's like listen. If I'm friends with a big guy that can't close the thing on the like roller coaster, I'm not gonna let him go on the roller coaster.
Right, but you don't need to call him out for the. I mean, you just pull him aside.
I just don't want him to fall in the big hole.
I know. I mean, yeah, there's ways you can do
big
that.
hole.
There's ways you can. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
My rat's agreeing with me.
Well, he's a smart guy. So. Flint almost falls through, but just barely makes it across. So in the end, no big problem.
Luckily enough, we make it over in time. My character makes it over while breaking the bridge, but the main thing is he got across in one piece.
I was surprised Flint could run through that bridge because he's a big dude, but it all worked out in the end because we always go with the flow.
And that proved to be challenging for him because towards the end he actually broke their bridge and the heroes had to repair it. So that took a little time, and then Aquilon used a mend spell that came out pretty clutch. So that was good.
I think Kret, the DM, did a really good job of the world building when it came down to the settlement in the sewer. I immediately saw in my mind's eye, and I'm new to tabletop stuff, right? Like, this was really different, and I saw the settlement. Kret described it, I understood what it looked like, what it felt like, just the atmosphere, the smell of it all. That was really, really cool. So I think he dunked that there for sure.
From there we went to this little hole in the wall where my contact, Elizabeth Thornton, was. The inn was kind of crappy, kind of low tier, kind of dingy. The food was bad, the space was bad.
We got to the hole in the wall where Romero knew this girl named Elizabeth, brought us some food and drinks.
We all sat down together and ate and drank at the hole in the wall, a hole in the wall. I don't know if that was the name, if that was it. Very clever, either way.
And there is a small box, like a crate.
I set the box.
You sit on the box? Roll athletics.
Live dangerously.
That is a 20.
As you place your posterior in the box, you realize if you were to actually put your weight on it, it would shatter. What do you do? The box shatters underneath your weight.
Basically a cave where people sit and eat some moldy bread and cheese and hopefully have some cleanish water, which we got very lucky with as well.
The water was dirty, the bread was hard and stale, the cheese was moldy. I'm used to very fresh, natural stuff. We hunt where I'm from, so it was not my thing. I passed on all the food there. But I think Daria maybe drank a little bit too much, got a bit drunk in the end, so she had a good time.
And I realized that I was gonna have my own fun. And so, listen, I've been kind of leading the group here for 2 weeks. We've been real serious and doing some fights. So I let a load off, man. I got wasted.
All right. So
I'm thirsty. I want to order a drink.
In this place?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought you were Daria.
You need to go.
To be fair, he's always thirsty.
That's bad.
Oh.
That's true.
All right.
Kind of disgusting, actually. I had to give my lime over to Randy. But Randy had some cheese, some bread, and some lime. He was having a great time at the end of the day.
Randy looks excited.
Good.
Yeah, Randy's in a good mood. He's chilling. This is
I
good stuff.
give the lime to Randy.
Oh, Randy like picks up the thing with his front paws and just sort of like squeezes it over his mouth.
Chug, chug, chug.
Yeah. And maybe more importantly, Randy got his chow on. Randy ate some lime. Randy ate some cheese. Randy's certainly feeling just as good as I was after that night.
You know, they had a decent time there. I think they had some interesting conversation, learned a little bit. They heard about this creature, but they couldn't quite figure out what it was. And really, everyone just rolled kind of bad.
But it did give them a chance to rest, kind of get all their spells back, which was important because then we had this O2 fight.
They continued on, and they entered the trash-strewn lair of the O2. There was only one of them, but it was sort of near the exit. And, you know, I think it was probably possible for them to sneak past O2 who are not particularly perceptive. But they chose to fight it.
Turns out there was this weird garbage monster that eats garbage, people. To stay away from it, named O2. I didn't know how to feel about it when we engaged it, so I wanted to like sneak up on it and see if we can circumvent it. But those tentacles were scary, dude.
We move a little bit further along into the sewers and we start to smell it. We see the bodies piled up on the floor. I think to throw a torch into the darkness, that kind of illuminates some parts of the creature, and from there, we try to come up with a plan. Adrian tries to sneak up on it, gets close, but eventually reveals it, and so then we end up having to fight.
This felt, for the first time, that we knew what we were doing as a party. Haha, Tagaron and the wizard weren't here.
So we got to fight a O2. Don't exactly know what that is. It had 3 legs and eyes on tentacles.
Luckily, Flint was able to get some really big hits in, and I mean big hits, doing almost all the damage himself.
Flint just went nuts and was able to really take care of everything, and then the rest of us kind of did our jobs.
I'm gonna run up to it and hit it with a 2-handed hammer because that's all Flint does.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah! Why not get in range? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, crit. Natural 20.
Would you like to use Divine Smite as well?
I would. Can I
Wait,
use,
wait, wait! Can he?
Can I use
Savage attack.
Savage attack?
Hey! Baby, the savage! The savage attack!
We got one, boys. Okay.
So I
That's
think
just how
that
they
gives
know
you
you, so that's
an
what- that's
extra, an
One
extra.
D on crit.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Plus 1D on crit.
So you roll 3d12
3D spell.
plus 2d8
Does he get another
for
D12?
your
That's
smite.
8.
Okay.
1A, I need a 8, the D. And what else?
And then plus your strength.
Fucking this shit up. Plus my strength, plus 3. So I get whatever this is plus 3.
You can roll 50.
And this is bludgeoning
You can do
damage.
55 damage here. Total.
Why you give me those numbers?
Yeah, don't do
That's
the
a lot
math.
of pressure. Like,
About to do.
now it's going to be 7. I'm just like, oh, well. 11, 21, 23, 29 damage.
Plus your strength.
Oh, you're correct. 32.
All I know is I hit it really hard with my hammer today. I did all the damage for the team, just so this is on note. 82 damage in that one encounter from good old Flinty boy. So when Aggro and Taco return, we'll see if they can match up to those sort of numbers, my friends.
Oh, that's another 6. Plus 3 is
It's plus 5, but still not enough.
Is it good proficiency?
Yeah.
Ah, I'm going to do it. Okay.
Isn't that a 9?
Yeah, it's a 9.
Oh, wait, it's a 9.
Yeah.
That'll hit, actually.
My bad.
Candyman
This dice.
trying to snatch defeat.
I'm trying to intentionally
Screw us in
throw.
every way
Try this
possible. In character.
That's the
out
real
of
savage
character.
strike,
Yeah,
right?
you
It's
can
happening
roll
out
your
of-
damage.
It's like if I'm not
2d6
gonna
plus-
succeed, no one will.
Flint, man. Flint gave it the business. I've never seen Flint fight like that. That reminded me of the way Tagaron would have rolled.
I was really confident in the power level of our party, even without the wizard and the rogue there, who have traditionally kind of carried us.
Yeah, you can certainly cast Moonbeam here.
Even though we're inside.
Yes.
And there's no moon.
He's a druid. He doesn't care.
Makes his own moon.
Yeah.
He just whips
Why do you guys want my ability to not work so bad?
That ain't no moon.
No one else is doing that on you guys' turns. Jesus Christ. No, I mean, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that I've used 1 second level. No, I used Entangle as well, so 2 first levels.
So you got 1d8 plus spell mod, but my
Yeah,
spell
your spell mod is-
-1.
Your spell mod is -3.
Oh shit.
But we're just going to do +0 for this purposes.
Oh, thanks.
Because otherwise, you could hurt yourself.
Let's do that. That sounds great. I'll kill myself right now. Like, big old battle, and I'm like, oh, I just heart attack. Roll over. And that was
The cast was too much.
Go on, with that.
I think my control helped out with the freeze, with the entangle, and all that other stuff to try and slow the creature down. Adrian was whispering in its ear the entire time, or in its eyes. Who knows if the Utu even has ears to that effect.
At the end of the day, it was a pretty easy fight. Good CC from Akilo, and then Flint did some two-handed damage work while Tolly and Tom spoke with animals. Yeah, it was a good episode. Good times. Easy fight.
Before I mentioned that I wasn't really sure about Romero at first, I couldn't really trust him. After the fight with the O2, I implicitly trust him. He's definitely on our side.
They continued up to the surface, and that's when Romero double-crossed them. A bunch of guards came in. They encountered Ares' champion, who used his god's ability to pull them in.
However, taking all that damage, using all those resources, all those tricks and spells, meant that once we came out into the city, to the guards that I knew were waiting, they were a little bit less ready for a second combat.
We make it to the surface. There are people coming. They surround us. They're with Romero. He's definitely not on our side.
Using, you know, my perception, I hear that there is people coming, but our boy Romero, he looks me dead in the eye and he says, "It's okay. They're with me." And I trust him in that moment. And maybe I shouldn't have, because he grabs us and they pull us right in. Not Romero himself, but they were members of Zeus's guard, and they pull us in.
But Flint isn't really that wise as a character, so he didn't really make the assumptions at all until it was too late, and we'd already got arrested.
And then that's when we got betrayed, man. Romero, turns out he just did it for some piece of change, man. Whatever happened to bros before dineros, you know what I mean? He screwed us, man. He screwed us.
Anatoly Adrian, with some quick thinking, was able to use his mesmerize to let people escape, and that was really smart.
But Adrian actually makes a huge play. He mezzes everyone, and in that little split second of chaos, we're able to move. I turn into a rat and try and scurry away.
Why don't you make a stealth check?
Okay.
If you are, in fact, turning into a rat and trying
I sure am going to try, because I don't want to be captured. Where am I still? Oh, 2. So I don't know if it matters much, but 2 plus.
You like knock something big over.
Just 2. My dexterity is 0, so just 2.
Like bump into something. I'm gonna look down and go, like, Akilo,
Running around. I think it's lost in the clothes, right? Like
it's
you
not
can't
your
find the
dexterity,
hole.
it's the rat's dexterity.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know if the rat gives me.
It probably doesn't matter.
No, it's plus 0 as well.
Okay, you try to scurry off, someone stomps on you.
Jesus!
Your rat form dies, and you just turn back to Akilo laying on the ground.
Oh, God. Guys, I didn't mean anything by it.
Aquilo got away as a rat. Romero could have stopped him, but he didn't. He chose not to. So I think that says something about Romero. You know, he's not bad. He's just greedy.
It was money motivated, but there was also an opportunity where I was given a high perception roll to see that one of their party members was escaping, and instead of like ending that transformation so that they couldn't get away, instead of let them go, so maybe they can team up with Marcus and see if they can put something together to kind of recover all their parties that are in prison. It'll be very interesting to see what happens next episode after the betrayal.
Flint loses his rock, he loses his mind, and just starts swinging.
Yeah, they took my rock away, which wasn't the greatest thing for Flint whatsoever. They realized that Flint only cares about the rock. He only cares about his holy symbol and Geb. So taking that away from him, it's going to cause him, well, it's going to cause Flint problems, and maybe others too, you know, if he keeps rolling crits the way he did today.
It's chaos everywhere as Daria tries to silver tongue her way out of it, and maybe there's a way we can get out. So they even say that, you know, they've managed to capture Tagaron as well as our mage. I mean, it really is a scary situation. I hope we're able to make it out of this one. Maybe there's something I can do from the shadows. We'll certainly see next time.
We beat the O2. I don't know if we're going to beat all these guards. Hopefully, Tagaron is not locked up. I don't really care about Inazuma, but Tagaron, and when Otter jumped from the sky